Hello everybody, my name is Joey. I'm part of the Chart Guys team. I've been a full-time trader and technical analyst for 7 years. Here to talk about some crypto. We've still got awesome action in the space. Currently in the midst of our third weekend in a row with Bitcoin dominance dropping and alts really popping off. We got Bitcoin tickling 100K and we're going to talk about it all. Talk about some game plans, talk about some things to look out for. Let's go ahead and get into the chart, starting off with Big Daddy Bitcoin. So we are topping out just below 100K. We know everybody has their eyes on 100K, so we'll have to see what we see if we get there, when we get there, whatever it ends up being. In general, the market does kind of like to make things not easy. A lot of people are saying 100K is going to be the top. With that, wouldn't surprise me to not quite get there. And it also wouldn't surprise me to blow right through it and see a parabolic move to 120. So I want to make it clear that I'm in no business of trying to peg tops up in blue skies. It's all about trends. It's all about EMA riders, and bulls will maintain full control as long as the weekly uptrend is intact. And then even once we lose that, we'll have room for a monthly higher low. But monthly consolidation is what we would need to say, all right, we've got a little bit of a temp top in. And obviously there's zero sign of that yet. We've got bears trying to get daily consolidation underway, and that is it. So I'm not too worried about 100K personally, mainly because, it's kind of a coin flip. What do we get with there? So with that, just going to focus on trends, focus on backburners. Are backburners continuing to hit? Are they starting to fail? Are alts remaining strong, or are they starting to show exceptional weakness or anything like that? And right now we have alts absolutely leading the way to the upside as we get 2-week consolidation underway in Bitcoin dominance. And that brings the next question. So we'll get back to Bitcoin details here, but let's talk about Bitcoin dominance for a minute. The talk of the town for a while now has been, when's alt season? Well, alt season, if it's going to come, it's going to require a break of the 2-week 12 EMA. So we're kind of down there testing it now. All of these pullbacks to it have been nice for alt moves to the upside, and that's what we're seeing here now. But if we're talking a structural shift, a full-blown alt season like the likes of the 2021 alt season, you're going to need to see Bitcoin dominance just plummet, and that's not what we're seeing at the moment. We do have a nice move down off the top, bears with the room for a daily lower high next bounce, and we'll just take it one step at a time. So let's get back into Bitcoin here, as we got bears testing support at 97,122, and if that is broken, we'll go into the 4-hour to look at that. If that's broken, daily consolidation would be underway. And bulls, if they want the strongest look that they can have, are going to buy up hourly oversold conditions, which are not far away at this point. So let's go ahead and map it on out. We'll put on our RSI projector tool. That indicator is called RSI levels, and the creator is Abdami on TradingView. So we'll drop our line here. We'll go hourly oversold, and that would be just past the support break. So what bulls would like to see is some continued weakness here. Break that support in 15 and 5-minute oversold conditions. When we break key levels in extended RSI levels or RSI conditions, it's very difficult to see follow through. So that would be the setup there for just a break and then pop, and then bulls would have to regain an hourly uptrend, regain a 4-hour uptrend, the whole kit and caboodle to try to get a daily higher low set. And we have our 12-hour 12 EMA, which has kind of been guiding us here as well. So I'll go ahead and put a line on that. So this would be the area of interest if we do get a flush, and that's for aggressive bulls, because we know that the crypto space is not unfamiliar with liquidity flushes, and it's been a very solid move up, and it won't be surprising the next time we get one of those flushes that just kind of makes everybody go, woo. And in a strong bull market, they get snapped back up, and you end up continuing your uptrends to new highs. But you don't want to get caught with your pants down using too much leverage, not having your risk managed, and then end up getting caught in something funky. Because at the end of the day, while we're looking at hourly oversold and 12-hour 12 EMA, right in this zone of 95.5 to 97, something like that, for me, the Bitcoin is very strong as long as daily 12 EMA is acting as support, because bears would have to take out daily 12 EMA if we were going to see any weekly consolidation, and then it will just be the zoom out game from there. We'll have tons of room for a weekly higher low. So daily 12 EMA from current price is 5% away. So not too far, not too far. And if bulls hold that bigger picture, they're staying super tight. But bigger picture, we know monthly 12 EMA, monthly uptrends are guide. So it's just the fractal nature, and bulls are in uptrends on all time frames. So as soon as you lose one, you zoom out to the other and try to position for a higher low there. And that's the beauty of being in uptrends, is as soon as you lose one, you have like a safety net below you in your larger time frame uptrend to try to get a higher low. And you compare that to being in downtrends, where once you see your first success, you have like the next boss, and you're battling against these bosses all the way up, versus when you're in uptrends, or rather just playing with the trend. Those bosses are on your team, and they're a safety net behind you. So we will just go one step at a time and see if bears can get some daily consolidation underway. It's looking like it. We do have a bit of a character shift here. These 15-minute backburners have been getting snapped up to new highs on Bitcoin as we continue this daily stair step over the last week or so. And we now have bears pushing below our most recent 15-minute oversold conditions. So that tells us then zoom out to the hourly. We'll do this whole thing with the hourly. And then once hourly oversold starts to fail, that's when we'll zoom out to 4-hour oversold. So it's the same thing, just across timelines within this fractal nature. Within the fractal nature, and in general, the smaller time frame you're going for, the more aggressive. And you can try all of the time frames. You just gotta make sure you stop out if your more aggressive attempts fail. So that's what we got going on with Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Ethereum, catching a little bit of relative strength here. Bulls were able to hold daily 12 EMA and have now pushed up to new highs, seeing continuation of the monthly bounce, and still a good bit away from resistance. We've got 20% to get through the highest prices in 2024. Going to stick with the weekly uptrend as our guide for that monthly move. Daily uptrend is the guide for the weekly move, and now bulls have a good deal of space for a daily higher low compared to 3,031, or we'll go with this lower level because they're all pretty close. 3,012, nice little base of support there. So I don't care nearly as much about ETH as I do about ETH BTC, which we'll look at in just a second. So the guide for the daily move on ETH, 4-hour 12 EMA, and you'll see the same thing on so many charts at this point. So it's nice to get an environment like this because it really can pound into your head how we see the same things across all instruments, across markets, and that's the beauty of learning TA, because you can then deploy it to crypto, to commodities, to stocks, to index futures, to whatever. So we're looking for a 4-hour higher low. If bulls hold the 4-hour 12 EMA, then it is healthy, and the daily move can remain strong. So what we need to see on ETH BTC, so this is, people getting excited about a nice ETH move. Well, we're coming off the lowest prices in years on the ratio, and it's just a daily bounce, looking for a lower high. So potential daily inverse head and shoulders here if bears do defend 35.63 on the ratio chart here. And if bulls break through, or if we get the inverse head and shoulders, that's just a weekly bounce. And we'll have anything below 41.14 as a weekly lower high. And if we want ETH to come back onto the map, we need to get over weekly 12 EMA and confirm the first weekly uptrend in ages now at this point. So if we're talking about alt season and Bitcoin dominance losing 2-week 12 EMA, something that would really help that is if ETH BTC can get like a monthly bounce underway and see some actual sustained strength. So we'll be keeping eyes on that. Let's see, LTC continuing its move, coming up to, let's see, resistance of 112.98. We'll just call it 113, and daily 12 EMA continues to be the guide here. So fresh daily higher low set at 81.65, and lots of room for that higher low next time we consolidate. 4-hour consolidation underway currently. If bulls hold the 4-hour 12 EMA, then the daily move will remain strong. I'm telling you, same thing on many charts right now, and it's just this repeated fractal nature. So looking at LTC BTC, similar to ETH BTC, we have relative weakness, and we have for quite some time. So we're back testing the dreaded weekly 12 EMA. If LTC wants more notable relative strength, then LTC BTC needs to get over weekly 12 EMA. And what would that be? Do we have a quarterly EQ on? Yeah, so potential, it's not quite an EQ because we had the lower low without follow through. But if LTC BTC can get over weekly 12 EMA, then that would probably be the recipe for LTC USD to break 115 and ultimately get like a yearly higher low set. Within a yearly equilibrium. Something to note on that is oftentimes we'll see LTC be the last to pump in cycles, so I don't know if bulls really want to be rooting for that quite at this point. So those are the main three. Let's go look at some other stuff. So let's check in on our laggards from the last video. They all ended up popping. So you love to see it, love to have the experience with the cycles in the crypto space and how rotation works, and to be able to scout out those tightening ranges and get the moves always feels good. So we have ASTR, nothing too razzle dazzle with this one, but we are breaking resistance. We've got some more levels to go. We need to see bulls get through 813 and 836 to really see some follow through on that. We've got ICP breaking out of its weekly tightening range in an area with a lack of resistance now. Lots of room for a daily higher low, daily 12 EMA support. We've got GMT breaking out of its weekly range at this point following Mana. Mana gave some nice clues to be looking out for GMT to potentially do that. Daily 12 EMA, daily uptrend guide there. We've got OP, USDT breaking out of its weekly range. You see these are all pretty much the same thing. Not riding daily 12 EMA, but a lot of room for a daily higher low. And we got bulls trying to hold 4-hour 12 EMA here at the moment. Let's see, CRV was one of the best laggards that we had here. Looking at the weekly, that's the move that everybody else wants to eventually see. So zooming into the daily uptrend, daily 12 EMA support, same thing everywhere. So we're certainly looking for back burners on these. You got to see which back burners have been getting bought up. If it's all been 5-minute oversold that's been getting bought up, then once that fails, we're looking to 15-minute oversold. If it's all been 15-minute oversold, then once that fails, we're looking to hourly. If it's all been hourly, once that fails, we're looking to 4-hour. So let's see what else we got. KUJI, this I would say was the most disappointing out of all of them, but still breaking nonetheless. So we know they had the big fundamental downside there, and now bulls got a monthly bounce underway with the bull break and lots of room for a monthly lower high. We'll see how long they can keep this little dinky weekly uptrend intact. And last but not least, we had Oneit, who has seen one of the better breakouts. Not as good as CRV, but pretty solid move there. And let's see what the daily's looking like. Daily 12 EMA, daily uptrend, same thing as everybody else. And that, who's related to Oneit that's popping? Sushi is popping. This wasn't on our laggard list last week, but today is definitely got some of the volatility, up 28%, and that's with the big upper wick on there. So let's see, perhaps hourly 12 EMA looking to be tested. We're riding that hourly 12 EMA. So let's see if this is a 5-minute back burner shaping up with the hourly 12 EMA. We'll turn on our handy dandy tool. We'll mark 5-minute oversold. We'll go back to the hourly and 5-minute oversold, hourly 12 EMA. That's a good setup for a bounce. That being said, we know it won't be surprising to see 4-hour consolidation, but what you can do is, you come down here, you can maybe get a stair step into that. You take your stair step, get risk free, see if you can get a nice bounce, take some profits at EMAs, and if you want to see if bulls can just keep it going, then you can just put your stop below the low, see if you got something for another leg up. And in this environment, I would highly recommend keeping at least little pieces of something, because what might seem like a very little piece it starts to feel pretty big when names are going 30% in a day or whatever. And none of us know when we're going to top. None of us know when we're going to stop. And you got to just give yourself a chance. So let's see, who else do we want to look at? Let's look at ADA. Continues to be a star. I know ER Berg, one of our regular viewers, is a happy man right now. So monthly, just V-shaped to new highs on big volume. Weekly, a little tightening range. Bull break, this is the same structure as we were looking at on all those other laggards, and this is what everybody would love to see. But you got the volume to let you know that it's happening. And the big thing with ADA is you had the ratio chart support. So I'm going to have to go back into one of the old streams where I was talking about this yearly equilibrium on ADA BTC, saying that, all right, we're down at support here. And if we're going to get a yearly higher low, then we'll see ADA come back onto the map. So this is another way that you can scout where rotation may go. It's not only just looking at, okay, this is a pattern that was similar to these other patterns and it hasn't broken yet. You can bolster your game planning with the ratio chart when you have a most likely scenario on a ratio chart that is in a zone where it could be playing out. So that helped a lot with ADA there. So let's look at ADA USD. Got our yearly higher low set, and we are daily uptrend, not even testing daily 12 EMA. This is probably like a 6 hour 12 EMA rider. So bulls are looking for back burners here. Certainly once you lose the 6 hour 12 EMA, we'll probably go out to 12. Certainly go out to 12, and then 12 would need to be lost to check daily, and then daily would need to be lost to see weekly consolidation. And we know it won't be surprising when we see all of that, but there's no sign of it yet, and it's very difficult to fight bulls in this kind of environment, and is just really not advised unless you're an experienced counter trend trader. So we are up at daily historical overbought, and that is another tool that is really, really valuable in this kind of environment, just for pegging extremes, to the upside. It's more so, this is a place where I think I should probably take some profits. Again, unless you're an experienced counter trend trader, then you're using these signals to try to catch some consolidation and then hopefully flip around and buy the dip. So that's what we got for ADA. Let's look at DOGE. Continues its strength. DOGE is a 12 hour 12 EMA rider. I think, yeah, DOGE riding 12 hour 12 EMA as well as daily. Well, we'll just stick with 12 for now. If that were lost, we would be right into the daily because it's walking on up. But what we can say is DOGE bulls have full control as long as 34 cents is support. And let's look at DOGE BTC and see if we have any divergence. So DOGE BTC still lagging a bit behind DOGE USD in terms of its bigger picture structure. So we got DOGE USD. Let's get back on to that. DOGE USD pretty much, or USDT, excuse me, pretty much just has all-time high resistance away, which is a good bit. Log makes it look close, 74 cents we'll call it. But that ratio chart is certainly not anywhere near that. But I'm not looking at that as a red flag or anything. It's kind of not surprising. But if we do see DOGE BTC start to weaken, then that would tell us to look out for potential weakening in DOGE USD. So what else we got? Let's look at Solana. So Sol getting close to its all-time highs. Let's see, how close are we? Did we get it? We got 259.90. And we did 264.39. So Sol, new all-time highs, monthly 12 EMA, bigger picture guide, weekly is in an uptrend. That's the guide for the monthly move, and daily uptrend and 12 EMA rider. So while this has been a nice move for Sol, we have to see Sol BTC break its tightening range to the upside if we really want Sol USD to rip. So we're up testing resistance again. We got from the last video, it ended up being very nice knowing that, and this is basically the same as the ADA BTC 12-month equilibrium. We knew we were looking for a daily higher low on Sol BTC. We said if we get that and we get a nice bounce, then that could be the ammo to have Sol USD confirm this daily bull flag with some decent volume. So another example of how that can be used. So looking for Sol to catch some proper rotation, but need Sol BTC to join. So speaking of proper rotation, XLM is just a beast. And if you remember, I think it was 2 videos ago, this was the top scout for this is a beautiful tightening range. When it breaks, we expect volume and volatility, and in no way could we anticipate that we would get nearly 500% in a few weeks. But that's what we got. That's what we got. We're coming up to all-time high resistance, and it's going to be the same deal as everybody else. We're watching back burners. So let's see what we're on right now for XLM. So XLM is potentially onto its 15-minute back burner. So we're right now hitting the 5-minute back burner. So this is actually, let's map this out. So who is that other one? Sushi. This is what we're looking for on Sushi. We've got our hourly 12 EMA. We've got 5-minute oversold conditions. And how someone could go about playing this is taking, say, a 5-minute stair step, set up your risk something like that. You try to lop some off, get risk free. I like to go for the 1-to-1 personally, but I know depending on fee structures in the crypto space, that can be kind of tough if it's not as much of a move. But if bulls bounce from hourly 12 EMA and 5-minute oversold, then the show goes on in tight fashion for XLM. If that's lost, then we're looking out to our 15-minute oversold backburner. We've not hit 15-minute oversold. We may not have even hit it back down here at 22 cents over 100% ago. The last real confirmed 15-minute oversold was down at 12 cents. So that's going to be a scout, and let's go ahead and map those levels out as well. So we'll take our line, because I wouldn't be surprised if we blow through this 5-minute oversold just with how extended we are to the upside. So go 15-minute oversold there. We'll hit OK, and let's see what we got EMA-wise. So yeah, this would be a really nice one where we can get, what button do I need to push? I'm on a Mac. My desktop's a PC. My laptop's a Mac, and sometimes I get a little confused with the, control, option, command. It's all just a little different. But anyways, y'all don't need to know that. So this would be the range that I'm looking for. On XLM, we got 15-minute oversold into 4-hour 12 EMA. Those levels will move around a little bit as price continues to work its way down, if it continues to work its way down from here. And we'll see, getting into this 5-minute oversold, yeah, I really wouldn't be surprised to see that fail there. But once 15-minute oversold fails, then we're certainly going to be looking for an hourly backburner, and for daily 12 EMA, 12-hour 12 EMA potentially to act as support. But we'll just go one step at a time. Let's check our historical levels. So new historical all-time high on the daily RSI. So bulls love to see that. They want to see more names in the space start to do that. They want to see more names V-shaped to monthly higher highs like ADA, because the more names that do that, it will increase the odds that others will follow, because we can't forget that a slew of these alts are looking for monthly lower highs. But we'll just go one step at a time, and we'll trust our trends along the way. Not in the business of trying to call tops or pick tops out in this kind of environment. One of the beauties of the crypto space is that it can trend further and get so much more extreme than anybody anticipates. So with that, walk up stops, let the bulls do their thing, and then when it's bear time, there will be plenty of opportunity to the downside. And then once we get flushes and whatnot, there'll be plenty of opportunity for bounces. So it's a trader's paradise right now if you've got a proper exchange to trade on. And we'll just go one step at a time, not forgetting that sentiment can shift very quickly. If things were to escalate geopolitically, that could really change the tone in the markets. So always just have to be prepared for everything and not get complacent. Cannot get complacent in this market environment. So looking at XRP, pretty similar deal. We had our box that we were in for quite some time, breakout, tons of follow through, and we're just looking at 162 and then 196, which is all-time high there. So going into the daily, let's see, this 12-hour 12 EMA rider? Not quite. Not quite. I don't know what we'll use for our, I guess we'll go 6-hour 12 EMA. So if that's lost, then that would be some daily consolidation fixing to shape up, but bears would have to break the low of today tomorrow. Very unlikely to break the low of yesterday today. We've only got 3.5 hours left, and that would require a pretty big sentiment shift to go 11% down on that. But you see daily historical overbought being respected here. But this is a good example of how it doesn't mean the show is over when you hit these extreme RSI levels. It just tells you that it might be time to cool off, and this is the ideal cool off for bulls. Cool off, another leg up. So let's see. That's pretty much all I'm looking at. Let me look at my notes. Oh, I got FET on here. FET's not doing much. So potential for FET to do something. It had its move off of the low before a lot of other alts, and that is the monthly bounce technically getting underway, but really not seeing much follow through on that. So as we tighten up here on the weekly, keeping eyes on FET to see if it catches some rotation, and let's see if FET BTC can tell us anything. Yeah, FET BTC actually is losing a bit of structure. You could say that this was a decent uptrend support that has now been broken. So let's zoom out a little bit and see what we've got going on. Monthly downtrend confirmed. So FET BTC would need to shape up like a quarterly higher low if we want FET USD to really come to life. But we can just watch this little dinky weekly downtrend as our guide on FET BTC, and we'll need to see that come along. All right. I think that's all I've got to say this week. Hope everybody is faring well and enjoying it. Enjoy it while it's here, because it doesn't last forever. Hopefully for traders' sake, this can last a good bit longer, and we do get a proper full-blown alt season with the loss of 2-week 12 EMA on Bitcoin dominance. But we'll just go one step at a time, and we won't be delusional when the tone does shift. But we need to lose weekly uptrends for any legitimate tone shift, and most all names have a ton of room for a weekly higher low next consolidation. All right. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you next time, and I hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend.